And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome in to another edition of the Pattison Ave Sports Show. I'm your host, James Scores, and with you and with me, as always, is my group of companions. No guests this week. We're going to just do it, dissect it all alongside my good brother, Joey Marks. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Philadelphia. Good morning, James. It's cold, but we are going to try to warm all of your spirits by
Morning, Adam. Thanks
talking,
for chiming in, buddy. Sorry about that.
warm all your hearts by talking all things Philadelphia sports. We're going to take a little stock with all four major sports. It's one of the reasons why we don't have a lot of guests this week because I feel like there's a lot of ground to cover. We got a lot going on all four major sports all around the city. And there's a lot to cover and there's a lot to unpack. And I think it's about time we figure out where the state of some of these teams really are. Um,
Absolutely. So, Joe, obviously, we got a jam-packed show today. So it's 4 for 4, like I mentioned on the topic sheet here, 4 for 4 Philly sports scene. So, simply put, like obviously, it's a cold weather. It's cold out there right now. So how? So basically, the question I'll ask you is, simply put, where do we begin on this very, very cold, frigid morning here in South Philadelphia?
well, we take you indoors to the Xfinity Mobile Arena. We take you to warm you up with some hot hoops action. So the Philadelphia 76ers have started to make a lot of noise this season, including Joel Embiid having a resurgence.
Hmm.
Now, unlike 2 or 3 years ago, where we would have had our good friend Mike on,
Yeah,
that would have told me it's time to trade Embiid, and I would have told him he's crazy. This is where I am waving the flag with you, Mike. I am sitting here saying it's time to get rid of the big man while the getting's good, because right now, even though they're thriving, we may be able to get more back than we ever thought possible. Now, there have been some trade rumors that have already come out, James, and I want to get your opinion on some of these. From the point
sure,
of,
Mitch.
do you find them feasible, realistic, or are they just completely outrageous? All right,
Hmm.
so the first one is just a straight up salary dump with Joel Embiid, trading him to
Hmm.
a team like the Magic or the Wizards or who else was
Hmm.
another team? Portland or whatnot. Trading him to a team and just doing a salary dump and bringing back a couple of young role players to kind of surround a guy like VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey and Grimes and whatnot. What do you first think of that kind of trade offer? Embiid on a salary dump to like the Magic or the Wizards or some team like that.
I mean, it's interesting because you think about it more than anything about what Joel Embiid has done this year as as a player. I mean, he's been the thing that I mean, if I had to pick one or the other, I would probably have to go with probably Orlando because Orlando's like a team on the upside looking on the outside looking in, and they've been really good this year, obviously. And for me, I would go after one of those Wagner brothers, if that's the right terminology for
Yep.
it. I mean, like he's like a very good. They're both every time when they play the Sixers, they're like menaces out there. There's another player that sticks out to me the most too. I don't know what his name is, but he's like an upcoming star, like Joel Embiid was. Um, yeah, if I had to pick one, I had to probably go with Orlando, Joe. I think Orlando would be a good fit for him. But right now, I mean, the way it's looking right now, I mean, he's just. I mean, I got to say right now, I've been pretty impressed how he's been playing the last couple games or so. But the question is, obviously, is that yeah, sure, he's a great player in the regular season, but where is he at in the postseason? That's the big question. I mean, obviously,
Can he stay healthy?
right,
Can the
right.
big man stay upright? Okay, the next trade rumor that I have for you is PG-13 and VJ Edgecombe for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I wouldn't trade it, VJ. I mean, I love VJ already. I think VJ is another upcoming maxi star. I think he's a, for me. I mean, if I had to pick one or the other, like I mentioned with the Magic, I wouldn't bring in Giannis. I don't think Giannis is a good. I mean, I look. He's a great player. He's a great player, but he just can't stay healthy. I mean, obviously, and it's kind of like, I mean, if Paul George, down. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mentioned nailed it on the head too. VJ's untouchable. Absolutely, absolutely. So, if I got a choice between either PG or VJ, I mean, for Giannis, if it comes down to it, but the problem is that I don't know. I want to trade my upcoming star for VJ. I mean, for Giannis. I mean, that's like basically like what Mitch just said. He's untouchable. Like he nailed it on the head. But I guess Paul George for Giannis. I mean, it can't be that bad. But PG's been playing pretty well too.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
what they're doing right now, whatever they're doing right now is it's been working. So I gotta say right now, I've been pretty damn impressed.
So here's the last rumor that I have for you, and this one's gonna blow your mind because it blew my mind. So it's Embiid, Grimes, and Maxey for Devin Booker.
Oh my God. First of all, I'm not trading Maxey. I'm not trading. I mean, maybe Grimes. Maybe I'll get. Maybe if I had the hindsight be 2020. If I maybe Embiid too, maybe, but I'm not trading. I mean, but Grimes has been good too. That's the thing. I mean, I don't know about that. Also along the way too, but I think the one thing that's been really a positive for them too is that I guess if I had to pick one, I guess I got to go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with Grimes on this one. And by the way, our good friend Connor Acudia checks in for the first time in a while. Good to see you, Connor. How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Says, hey, what's up, fellas? I wanted to let you know that Bernard Hopkins reposted my reel on Instagram about Avante Barr, who is currently a boxer from Philly. So that's good stuff by you, man.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
And so, one of the things that I'm going to put it out here, James, if you had to name one player on the Sixers right now that is on your trade block that you are willing to ship out tomorrow, I'm not telling you who you're going to get in return, but that you want out, like out tomorrow, who is that player?
That's a good question. Because they're all playing well. I mean, like I said, they're all playing very well right now. I would have to go with probably Embiid. I would probably have to say Joel Embiid because I mean, people will think I'm crazy here for thinking about that after so much success he has this season, and he looks a lot thinner too. He doesn't look overweight, but actually halftime checks in for the first time and he says good morning to us, and he also makes a very good pointer. Maybe Jared McCain will be a good asset to trade because obviously he hasn't been on the air too. So that's the thing about it too. So I mean, I would, and also Mike Peppernick checks in. It says PG or Embiid have to go.
Yeah,
I would have to go. I think I'm going to go with Embiid on this one, Joe.
You see, here's my thing, and now people, Mike and everyone's going to be like, "See, I told you he didn't learn." So if I had to pick one, and I could only pick one, it'd be PG-13. I didn't love that contract even in the beginning. So very for cool me, cool. Whatever I can get back for PG-13 that can be translated into assets onto this team, I'm fine with. I think we could get guys that are, perimeter defenders, that are three-point shooters, that are guys, that are worthwhile. I think if you traded PG-13 to the Heat or PG-13 to someone like the what was it? Not the Mavericks. Who am I thinking
actually
about?
You know what? I'll say it right now. I got one more other team that might be a good asset too for PG too. Well, I wouldn't say maybe Memphis. Maybe Memphis. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go after John Morant though. Morant's is a knucklehead. I mean that's the thing.
Well, you don't want John Morant. Oh, the other team I was thinking about is the Timberwolves.
That's what I was thinking of. My bad.
If you go for some of the assets on the Timberwolves, I'd be very, very intrigued in that. So my feeling is PG-13 has to go. Now, moving forward to what this team is striving for, they're striving for a strong push into the playoffs. So I got to ask James, because there's a lot of Sixers fans that are out there that are listening to us that are still unsure of whether it's safe to jump on the Sixers train right now,
Hmm.
because they have broken our hearts more than once in the
Immensely,
last 5-6
immensely,
years. And so
absolutely.
I gotta ask, do you believe, are you on the Sixers train for a strong playoff push this season?
I'm not there yet. I mean, I want to sound like I'm a little bit of a mush here because obviously I've seen this train crash many times before. Well, actually, I won't say a train crash, but yeah. I mean, before I go and answer my question here, Adam C says he'll trade Jared McCain, and also halftime checks in again. He says he'll trade PG and McCain in a package for those players you mentioned. Like
Mhm.
so yeah. I mean, but back to your point about the about if the Sixers are legitimate contenders here in for the Eastern Conference. I'm not there yet. I mean, obviously tonight will be a good thing to see. The 2001 NBA Finals, the team that went to the NBA Finals in 2001 tonight being recognized tonight. So it'll be fun to see Pat Croce. It'll be fun to see Iverson and then Jermaine Jones, Tyrone Hill, Aaron McKee, and that. I'm not even kidding you. The last couple of games I've been watching this team, I said to myself is if they have the only thing that gets in the way with the Sixers the last few years is the Celtics. But I think this year, I think they finally can probably break the camel's back of beating like a Celtics team or beating a team, maybe like I don't know who's another legitimate contender, maybe the Knicks for. I mean, but right now, but I have to say right now, I mean, I'm not there yet with the Sixers that are, but they're moving one step closer to being a legitimate contender because what the Sixers have done. But if the Sixers can continue the level of success they do with Edgecombe, Maxey, and even Embiid, yeah, I mean they could be scary good come playoff time. But we saw it before many times with this team. The second round has been their kryptonite for the last handful of years. So yeah, I mean, um, I'm not there. Like I said, I'm not there yet. But I'm starting to feel like like
How
hopefully that
how far do you think they can get?
right now they could probably win a round. I think
Okay.
they could probably win a round, or I mean, but who knows? I mean, it depends on who they play in the first round. It'll be either the Knicks or it'll be either the I mean, just somebody that. I mean, obviously, it's kind of like the same thing with the Flyers the last handful of years when they were legitimate contenders. It's either that they got like the Penguins gone away, or the Red Wings gone away, or the Sabres, and the list goes on and on about that too. And obviously, we'll talk about that later. Um, but yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, if I had to pick a team that could be a good matchup for them right now, I think right now it would be maybe probably Boston, depending on Jason Tatum's status and also Tyrese Halliburton's status with the Pacers. So right now, I would say, yeah, I would say they win a round right now, but if they had to play the Knicks in the second round, I think they probably get eliminated again. Maybe it's the
So
same.
this is where I am, and you're kind of going to be tapping in a little bit into my next question, but
Sure.
I got these guys going into the Eastern Conference Finals. And this is why, and this kind of leads me to my next question.
Hmm.
You know, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, those are two big time players on two big time playoff contending teams in the East. And then you have the Knicks, and the Knicks are the Knicks. You know, like they look scary from the outside, and if you could put them behind their backs against the wall, they can beat you in a 7-game series. And the Sixers have proven that in past years. But here's my thing: you have these other teams in the East that are making headway, like the Cavaliers, like the Pistons, and stuff like that. Like,
The Pistons are
the
a good team too. That's what I was
yeah,
thinking of too.
and like their resurgence is it like for Detroit fans, it's not surprising. For the regular the rest of the league, it's a bit of a resurgence. It's a bit of a surprise.
Hmm.
But here's my thing: do I feel like the Sixers can beat the Pistons? Sure, in a 7-game series, sure. Do I think the Sixers could beat the Cavs in a 7-game series? Sure. Do
Right.
I think that they could beat the Celtics without Tatum in a 7-game series? Absolutely.
I
Do I
agree.
think they could beat the Pacers without Halliburton in a 7-game series? Absolutely. Like, these are absolutes in my mind. And because of the weakness of the East, because of these key players being out, and some of these really inexperienced teams like the Pistons that are in positions that they haven't been in quite some time,
Hmm.
I got to ask, James, can the Sixers benefit from I guess, the weaknesses of the East this season? Because it feels like this is the window for an opportunity. Because next year, when Tatum and Halliburton are back,
Right.
those powerhouse teams will be back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's like basically right now, this is your opportunity to see what can you bring to the table, obviously. That's the thing I'm at it too, is that but I think the one thing that sticks out to me the most with the Sixers team is that sure, I mean, yeah. I mean, they can get past the first round. That's great. I mean, they always been past the first round. The second round's been their cause for concern. But now seeing this injury front with the players that you brought up with Tatum and Halliburton and the list goes on and on. I mean, this is your year to finally. I mean, like you nailed it on the head perfectly. I think it was that next year it's not a guarantee that they will be in that same position next year because with all those players coming back from those injuries coming back next year. So this is your opportunity to shine now before things start to. I mean, if they can't beat a team that is like injury front, like a Celtics team without Tatum or Halliburton without Halliburton, or even worse that you. I mean, the worst thing about it too is that I feel like sometimes that, especially this year, how the success they had all year long, I'm afraid somebody's going to screw us. It's going to be either that we're going to be playing the Pistons in the first round or the Knicks in the first round. And next thing you know, it'll be either the Knicks in the Eastern Conference final or it'll be in the Pistons in the Eastern Conference final. I mean, but I do understand that it's wide open and anything is possible with this league. And also, and then the Sixers have to look at that too and say, okay, this is our opportunity. It's wide open now. We got to take advantage of it now before these players come back, and even more so, take advantage of it while you can in the process too, and the progress too.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement because this is why I feel like they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals,
Sure.
because I feel like depending on how, I guess, the playoff seeding lays out with the second half of the season, ahead of us, if it favors the Sixers, like if they play weaker teams or inexperienced teams, it's going to favor the Sixers because they've been there before. And
Mm.
so they will be one of the more experienced playoff contending teams out there. Yeah, you're going to have teams that are probably going to squeak in, like, Celtics and, depending on Indiana and all of that. But I think this is their year. And it's one of the reasons why I can understand the Embiid talk,
Hmm.
because it's like, okay, you either put all your chips in the middle because this is probably the only year you're going to be able to do it,
Right.
because what you don't know what you're going to get from Embiid next year,
Hmm.
but you do know what you're going to get from other teams. You're going to have Halliburton back. You're going to have Tatum back. You're going to have some of these top contending teams back in the foothill, and so you need to kind of maybe strike while the iron's hot. Maybe that's why the one person who commented about McCain and PG-13 packaging them. If you were able to bring back a guy, and I'm not asking for a Giannis, although I won't say no if that's the deal.
Right.
If it's McCain and PG-13 for Giannis Antetokounmpo, that
I think that
isn't.
might be better. I think that might be better than like trading away like a key player, like a player on the rise, like VJ Edgecombe. You know what I
I
mean?
agree. And then if your lineup looks like Giannis at the 4, and then Embiid at the 5,
Hmm.
someone like Kelly Oubre or Grimes at the 3, and then someone like VJ and Maxi, that's a really good lineup to kind of put out there.
Yeah,
And so that shows a lot of strength within that lineup. Um, that could strengthen their push in the playoffs. Before we move on, I want to just say one quick thing. So, for anyone who likes what we're saying so far and wants to hear more of it, please make sure to follow, subscribe, like on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure to even follow me. I've been putting out sports biographies. I actually just got released a Fred Taylor sports biography because of his birthday a week or so ago, and Mr. Taylor quote tweeted me and messaged me back saying that he liked
very
it,
cool.
which I appreciate very much. So if you want to follow me, my handle is Joe Wolf 112680. I am putting out a lot of new content every day. You can also shop on my website, theshoppingplaza.store. There, with this show and this network, there's a lot of cool things on the horizon. So please follow, subscribe, like, and share everything on your social media platforms, YouTube included. That's at Hardcore Sports Network and Stream Punk Entertainment PA. But before we go on, I got to make this announcement. The next time James sees you, I should say,
Right.
for Pattison Ave Sports Show will be on Valentine's Day. And we will show our love to all of you by sharing our interview that we will have with Jim Jackson later on this week. And I'm looking forward to it with the way that the Fly guys are playing and what's ahead of the Flyers. That being said, please tune in next on February 14th on Valentine's Day at 9 a.m. to join James and Mitch Kofsky to also review and play our interview from Jim Jackson. So that's why it's important for you all to subscribe, like, and follow. Now, that being said, let's get down to the Flyers. James, I had a preliminary question of like how do you feel about the Flyers play leading into the Olympic break?
Mm-hmm.
After this past week, I'm pretty sure your opinion has changed.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, if you gotta let it out, dude, let it out. Let it all hang out because I'm giving you the floor. Like, you gotta let me know how you feel about this Flyers team going into the Olympic break, especially this past week.
Honestly, I'm at the point now, Joe. I'm not even kidding you. I'm kind of like shell shocked a little bit with this team at this point. Because how they, it's surprising to me because you think about the team, how they've been playing the last, like before the holiday break, they actually look pretty well. They actually look like they were getting their bearings back, and it felt like it was like probably like a similar effect that the Eagles had back in 2023 when the 49ers came in and took their hearts out. And it feels like the same thing that happened on that January date when the Flyers took on Toronto and they had a 1-0 lead. And I think it was the last time I watched a full game of Flyers hockey. And then they give up 2 goals. Like they tied a game late. The Maple Leafs tied the game late. And they won it in overtime. I'm thinking, okay, they'll bounce back the next game. Okay, strike 2. I was like, okay, strike 1. And they bounce back that game. And then they didn't bounce back mass majority of the other times. And now I'm looking like, okay, so is it either that this team is lost or this was like just that the hype of the Flyers. I mean, I don't know if it's Rick Tockett's scheme that ran out really quickly because obviously, I mean, I'm actually shocked. Actually, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm actually without words with this team because I'm thinking that this team was actually moving one step closer to actually becoming a legitimate playoff contender, and now it feels like they lost. I think they lost a lot of. I don't know how to feel about this actually, Joe. I don't know how to feel about it. Maybe Jim Jackson can probably tell us a little bit about it next week to ask, because the first question I'll ask is like simply, boy, like what the hell is going on with this team right now? Obviously, it's probably Um, I mean, are they? I think there was. I don't know if it was fool's gold. I don't know if it was that was more like that. People, I think the Flyers were thinking they. I mean, for me right now, I think the most important thing is right now that the Flyers. I feel like when they have like a comfortable lead, like they smell themselves a little bit and say, "Yeah, we have this lead," um, and then you see a team like come out of nowhere and put. I mean, it's the same thing that they did with. I mean, last week against Colorado, I thinking, okay, they won 7-3 against a probably Stanley Cup contender and a team against Colorado. I'm thinking, okay, they bounced back in a good way like that. And then going into the game on Monday, we felt confident. I mean, you and Austin were doing this week at Flyers Hockey, and I said, okay, maybe this is something to build on. Maybe it'll springboard into a little bit of a streak here. And then they went back to the same old routine again. And then I didn't even watch the game on Thursday night, Joe. I'm not going to lie to you. I couldn't even watch it. I mean, I think I was watching more Sixers than I was watching Flyers. I mean, that's what kind of a. I mean, that's a first. I mean,
Yeah. That says a lot on
yeah, dude, it
on your
does.
behalf.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that Boston game, I knew it was going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad. I mean, obviously, Boston's on the outs. I mean, probably to me, if they can't beat Boston or they can't beat a team like the Islanders, we're in big trouble. I think we're in big trouble right now. But hopefully, the one thing I'll give Brian Boucher a ton of credit here because he's been my sports psychiatrist here to try to calm me down during this tough time of the Flyers and says, dude, they probably need a reset. They probably need a reset. Like they and hopefully this Olympic break can help them. They try to get that reset and obviously get back to where they are as a team. I mean, right now, obviously you don't want to throw tables everywhere. And you don't want to like go crazy and go berserk here, but there's something that has to be addressed here because I feel like the message hasn't been made here. And the other thing too is that I mean, yeah, sure, Rick Tocchet is in his first year as a Flyers coach. I mean, he's not going to be one guy that's going to be like Tortorella. I'm going to be benching players left and right, but something's got to give now. Something's got to give with this team because I feel like the message is not getting. The message is not getting. I don't think the message is soft. But at the same time, too, I think the message has to be like, okay, this is not acceptable, and now we got to find a way to fix it.
So I kind of, with what you said about how you were a loss for words, I'm not. Yeah, there's a lot of anger, but it's not.
It's just like I got a lot of I don't know right now, Joe.
Well, but here's the thing. I know, like, because I've said this, God knows how many times. Like guys that we have goaltending right now, Sam Harrison and Kozlov. They're not goaltenders for the NHL. I mean, Sam Harrison has had his moments. He had his moments against Colorado. I give him that. He had his best game of the season against Colorado. You can hang your career on that, especially your season at least on that. However, we are missing our starting goaltender desperately.
Yeah.
I didn't think Dan Ballard would be this intricate into our team, but goddamn, he is. I mean, this is a guy who came from Calgary with not much expectation of this guy's going to come here and save the goaltender situation for the Flyers. I don't think many people saw that coming. But then he came and he just lit the ice on fire at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. And honestly, I think he is a big cog. We went and talked about this a couple weeks ago on This Week in Flyers Hockey. Which player, you posed the question, which offseason acquisition or which acquisition in the offseason was the biggest for the Flyers? What has been the biggest difference, the biggest change? Some of us said Zegras, which is fair, which is perfectly fair. Others said Rick Tocchet, which is also perfectly fair. I said Dan Villard because I felt like for as many Flyers post games that we did last season, and I kept coming on to the show, and I felt like I was a broken record saying the goaltending sucks. The goaltending sucks. It's an AHL at best.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm not a goal scorer, okay? I'm not. I've never been a goal scorer in my prime. I had 3 total goals if I'm correct in my career, okay? I am not a goal scorer, but I could guarantee that I could score on both these fools given the opportunity
Right.
because they don't protect the way they should. Erison can't cut off angles. Kozlov can't could guard off of rebounds. They both make really simplistic mistakes as a goaltender. And this team suffers when that goaltending flames out. And
Mm-hmm.
in the Columbus game more than anything else, that was proof because the Columbus Blue Jackets are nowhere near a playoff contending team. They're
That's right.
nowhere. They are a rebuild team. This is a team that you shouldn't have lost 5-3. You should have beat them 5-3, and
Mm-hmm.
you should have done it handedly. But no, we went in and we were smelling ourselves and we thought we had them under control. Nothing's a given win in the NHL.
No.
There's a reason why
No.
we say if you get into the tourney, anything goes. Anything goes because in hockey, at any given night, anything goes.
Right.
And so you can't go in and just say, well, we're much better than they are, and therefore we're just going to win. No, because you
Right.
know what? Colorado, as you said, James, probably thought that way, and they made a mistake because they thought the Flyers were coming in and they were going to roll over. And then the Flyers rolled over them. All
Yep.
of a sudden, Colorado looks back and goes, wait, we lost to the Flyers? Yes, you lost to the Flyers because you took for granted that a team comes in and just will roll over and die. And
Right.
when that doesn't happen, anything goes. So my feeling is the reason why this has suffered is because we need Dan Villar back. We need our goaltender back. But
Well, here's the other
we're
thing
gonna
too, Joe.
good.
Yeah, I think the other thing too, you nailed it on the head about the Vlador thing. Um, for me, a couple of days ago, I'm having him back against that Columbus game. It was like I thought it was a big boost. I said to myself, yeah, him not being there was the reason why the Flyers suffered and all that. But then
Mhm.
they they were down 3-1. They scored 2 goals, and TK was a big storyline in that game. And I think he's become a real positive the last couple of games during the streak. That's been really god awful. But most importantly, the thing that I was really annoyed about is that they tied the game up at 3. It's like, okay, you tied it up at 3. Now I'm thinking, okay, maybe they'll go into regular. They'll probably get a point now. They'll probably get an overtime point or probably win it in overtime or get a shootout. Like 3 minutes into it was like 3 minutes left to go in the game, and they gave up a goal. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, seriously? It's like, I mean, I'm not like pulling my hair out and just thinking about what's going on here. I'm just probably just feeling like I don't know. I just feel very empty. Like thinking like that this was like this Flyers team like postseason play was gonna happen. And I mean, I feel bad for Austin because he said that Flyers hockey is relevant again, and after that, it turned into a real shit show. After that, not gonna lie to you, but they got to find a way to fix it. They got to find a way to fix it at the end of the Olympic break because obviously the big question will be like is that can the Flyers come back after this god awful month that they had and bounce back and try to basically make a postseason push here? Because I know look at 2010, mind you too. The Flyers looked like they were out of it in the last couple games before that shootout win against the Flyers, against the Rangers in that 2010 game. And then after that, the hot streak happened, and they took it to the Stanley Cup final. So anything is possible come playoff time. I agree with you on that, Joe. But most important,
This is where we're going to have a lot of conversations, you, me, and Austin,
right?
on This Week in Flyers hockey in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to probably bring it up to Jim Jackson as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be what the Flyers do at the trade deadline. Are they buyers or sellers? Because you're right. At one point, we look like world beaters. We look like we were ahead of schedule.
Right.
And then we fall back into, this is who the Flyers are.
Mm-hmm.
That you said it earlier. Austin planted his flag and said the Flyers are relevant again. Flyers hockey's relevant again. And I still feel like that's somewhat true. But when you start to see this team falter backwards, you got to ask yourself, is it the whole team? Is it, and that's why I blame the goaltending,
Right.
because I'm trying to think, okay, is it the whole team? And I don't always see it as though it's the whole team's fault. Do I
Right.
think we need better defensemen? Sure. And that's where, the conversations of what we get at the trade deadline. Do we go and get like a better backup goaltender than Sam Harrison? I don't know.
Right.
Like that's maybe an option on the table. Do we go and get a stronger defensive player, someone who can get paired well with Sanheim,
Mm.
someone that can, really be that Chemo Timonen or Chris Pronger of
Right.
this defensive core?
Right.
Who knows? I mean, but if you get either or, if you go for a backup goal, a quality backup goaltender, or if you go for a stout, um, defensive player, you're probably saying you're buying in.
Hmm.
And right now, it's going to be up to Danny Briere and Keith Jones to really determine whether or not this team is taking that next step in the rebuild and really saying, okay, we're buyers, not sellers. And that's going to be
Absolutely.
a really important question to ask Jim Jackson at this point, even though Keith Jones isn't returning his phone calls, which,
Right.
Keith, give him a break. Um, you shared a
Right.
booth with him for many years. But
Let me ask you this too. Obviously, Mike Papanek checks in again. It says, "So the Flyers find their goaltender, they won't be relevant. They need to find the next Pelly Lindbergh or Ron Hextall, as they haven't been good. Like a homegrown goalie that hasn't been there since those two has been." And then the other thing too, he says, "The Flyers need to be sellers because it's going to be a 3-4 years before they're actual good again." And also, AK checks in for the first time today. What's up, AK? How you doing, buddy? Um, Joe, you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. No. I was just like he was just like basically saying that the Flyers need to go like what Mike Peppernick was saying was that we need a homegrown goaltender instead of like one that's
Well,
since those two as
this is what I
strong
will
as
say about the homegrown.
yeah
We've done that twice, and we lost twice.
yeah
We did it with Bobrovsky, and we traded him for a
yeah
knucklehead Russian. Okay. Then we had it again with Carter Hart, and he was a knucklehead
true
because he did something. Even he got acquitted. He did something stupid, and then he chose to not come back. Okay, fine. You need a fresh start. That's cool. We both need to clean our hands. But Dan Villard's not been a bum goaltender. Do I think he's a Ron Hextall and a homegrown? I will take the word from Jim Jackson himself when we talked to him over the summer break.
right
I asked Jim, my question to him was, okay, with some of the high draft picks we had, do we go and get a goaltender that
right
can be that quick turnaround homegrown goaltender? Like,
hmm
I brought that question up, and Jim Jackson had a really smart answer, really educated answer to respond, and that was it doesn't work that way. Goaltenders need a lot of seasoning. They need a lot of grooming through it, and it takes time. And he's right. Carter Hart spent 3 years in the AHL before he came up.
hmm
Like, Bobrovsky spent time, but was this like Russian phenomenon? And so here's the difference. I don't know if the Flyers can just put, because you don't always get a guaranteed goaltender. It's not
right
like other sports where you can go and you can almost get a guarantee. Like in the NBA, if you have a fifth overall pick, you're going to get a guy like a VJ Etchcombe that's going to be a game changer. Sure, you could miss on it, but
right
more times than not, you're not, and it's going to be a game changer.
right
NFL, if you had a first round pick and in a top 10 overall pick, you're going to possibly get like a Jalen Carter or Bijan Robinson, a game changer. Like that happens. But
right
in goaltenders' perspective in the NHL, you could have the sixth overall pick, and there could be every goaltender that a rookie goaltender that's coming out. It doesn't mean that goaltender is going to be as good as you think they are. I know that other teams have done that with homegrown, with Hellebuck and other guys like that. I
Hmm.
get that, but the problem is that's rare more than normal. Like
Right.
that doesn't happen all the time. That's why I'm suggesting you got to run with Dan Villard, and then you got to bring in a backup that once he needs to take a breather, you don't have a drop off like you do.
Yeah.
Like this is where James and you praise this guy for years, and I'm like, he's okay, and
Yeah.
now I'm regretting it.
What's that?
The Stolars,
Oh
when we
yeah.
had Stolars, you praised him for years, and I'm like, he's okay, and then you're like, well, you watch, and sure enough, I
Oh
look
yeah.
at him now, and look
Hmm.
at his career now, and that's a guy I would like to have back. That's a guy I would like to have
Hmm.
back as a backup goaltender. That's who I would want ultimately. I would want to make good with a mistake that we had. Now I got to ask James,
Sure.
what do you think this season's Philadelphia Flyers? What do you think this season's Philadelphia Flyers ceiling is? What do you
Hmm.
think where do you think the highest measure if they put all their dominoes in and they got it all figured out, where do you think their ceiling is this season?
Well, hopefully back to where they were at the beginning of the season. That's the big question, though. I mean, for me, if they can reach the pinnacle of going back to playing actual good hockey like they did at the beginning of the month. I mean, like I said, it's not like this happened. This has been going on for like all season. Maybe it was just the type of the month they had. Maybe it was just because of that Western Ontario, not the Western Ontario. I mean the Western Canada road trip during the New Year, and obviously they haven't been. And then on top of it, that they went to Vegas for, then they went to Colorado. That I mean, maybe they need to have maybe they probably need this Olympic break off to reset, and also like what Brian Boucher said too is that maybe what they need to do is that after whatever their next last game is, I guess it's February 5th. So it's the day before we interview Jim Jackson, obviously. So yeah, I mean, if they can go back to the team that they once were at the beginning of the season, and where they just were not trying to be too cute. Obviously, I think nowadays, I think they're trying to make like the great miracle pass. I mean, obviously they want to make a real. I mean, the worst part about it is that I mean, once you smell yourselves a little bit, you forget how to play the game of hockey. I think that's the other thing too. So for me, I think they need to go back to where they were at the beginning of the season, and also like because this team is there. I mean, the team is there. I mean, like once they are relevant, they are playing really, really good hockey. But what they need to do is they need to take this Olympic break off and reset and say, okay, look, this was a bad month for us, but now let's flip the page. So now let's flip the page and let's see what we'll do for the second half of the season. And I think it'll be good for them, hopefully. But if they don't find a way to fix that, then it's just like, okay, maybe it was just like fool's gold thing, and that this Flyers team was like relevant, but there's like actually more problems than just one little small problem. It's like putting a piece of tape on a boat that's like sinking, but the boat's continuing to sink. But well, we will see though, Joe.
The one thing that I would say this ceiling is for them, and I agree with you on seeing them get back to the way that they were earlier in the season,
Mm-hmm.
where we all kind of thought, "Whoa, okay, they're legit." Like, okay, um, I agree with you with the Olympic break, and I brought this up on this week in Flyers hockey. Is there's a lot of teams that are in the playoff hunt right now that are sending a lot of players to the Olympics.
Right.
The Flyers are not one that is sending a lot of players to the Olympics. This is where I think the reset helps the Flyers because you're going to have some tired legs on those players that played in the Olympics on those team playoff pushing teams like the Hurricanes and
The
the
Bruins too. Yeah.
Panthers and the Bruins and Islanders and whatnot. Like, there's going to be some tired legs from those players in the home stretch.
Right.
The Flyers are going to have fresh legs, and they have to kind of take advantage of that. They have to
Sure.
come out of the Olympic break. And look, coming out of the Olympic break, the season is far from over. And they'll have plenty of opportunities to go and take some positions. I think if they go and they come out and they play 600, hockey, like I think they're good. Like, I think that this is a team that can still thrive and succeed
Hmm.
in this season. They just can't lose hope that they're going through a tough stretch. Okay, this is growing pains, guys.
Right.
Like,
Right.
this is where your metal is going to be tested.
Right.
Whether or not you can figure out, okay, we can get back up on our skates and we can do this, especially with the advantage that we're going to have where we're going to be able to get ourselves right, get ourselves rested, and then the guys that some of these teams that are going to be in strong playoff contention are potentially going to have tired legs from their superstars, or God forbid, even have some of their superstars hurt due to the Olympics.
Right.
So, you're going to have, it's going to look different. Speaking of looking different, oh, wait, they don't look different. The
Hmm.
Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh
We are
boy.
moving right into the Philadelphia Phillies, who don't look
Oh.
different at all. They look the same. It's Groundhog Day all over again. I'm
Yes,
just
it
gonna
is.
get. I'm just gonna get a shirt. We talked about this with the possum. I'm just gonna get a shirt with a groundhog and like a little Phillies hat. Be like, it's Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day. Okay.
Well, here's the other thing too. You should probably get another one with Bill Murray with the hat, Phillies hat, and then with the
Yes.
microphone, and just say, "Well, it's Groundhog Day," and then it says dot 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 again.
Yes. So we're gonna dive straight in.
Oh
So
man.
Harrison Bader takes a 2-year,
Oh
$20
man.
million deal with the San Francisco Giants. This is a guy who, when he got introduced to San Francisco, might as well have been introduced to Philadelphia because he went on and on and on about his time in Philadelphia and what he thought of the organization, the fans, the manager, the players, all of that. And yet,
It was like a Phillies Appreciation Day. It sounded like.
right, and yet we couldn't sign him for 10 million a year. I'm just like, I'm confused, James. I still, like, I get Frank Finnegan has sat me down and explained had a bottle
You
of
made a
whiskey
valid point.
and explained the salary to me. Explain the reasoning why we're not spending more than the Dodgers, spending more than the Mets. He's explained it to me. I still don't understand why you can't spend $10 million on Harrison Bader. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Please make it make sense to me.
You know what the one thing that really makes it even worse? They actually paid JT the same amount of money that they were going to sign with Harrison Bader, like just around the same time frame as the money that they were spent with JT. I would guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, just yeah. I mean, it's dude. I'm not even kidding you. I have done so many probably off podcasts this week, or not this week, in the last actual couple weeks or so, about okay, is this team going to be anything in particular? I mean, obviously you think about the Dodgers, you think about the Giants, you think about the Padres, you think about all the other teams in baseball right now are actually becoming more buyers, and we are just instead of committing that we're sellers, that they have to be sellers now. I guess that's the one thing that really bothers me the most.
They're neither. They're
They're
neither.
neither. No,
That's the
exactly.
thing. They're just status quo. That's what it is.
Right.
We're gonna bring back the same guys. We're
Yeah.
gonna say hello, and
Yeah.
it's Mr. Dabrowski's neighborhood. Like, Mr. McFeely's played by JT Realmuto. Like, this is
And
what it
Green
feels
Acres,
like.
that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And but this is where I have to ask. This year there is a flash. A flash of youth coming in with Justin Crawford and
Oh
at
boy.
least Painter. Okay, we
Oh,
don't know
God.
if Aiden Miller's coming up. Now I gotta
Right.
ask. Even if Aiden Miller came up, now
Mm,
the top 100 prospects in Major League Baseball came out this past week,
mm-hmm.
and Andrew Painter and Aiden Miller and Justin Crawford were all on it.
Oh, God.
Now the interesting thing, which one of those three players do you think was the highest out of the three in the
The
top 100?
highest?
The
The
highest.
highest?
Like
Oh,
closer to one, closer to the number one spot.
I I would guess either Andrew Painter or Aiden Miller.
It was Aiden Miller. It
I
went
thought
it,
so. I
it
would thought
was
so. Because I was gonna say if Andrew Painter was like close to one, I'm thinking okay. Can we get off the pot a little bit with this shit, please? I
well
mean,
like
seriously.
so it went Aiden Miller, Andrew Painter, and Justin Crawford. Justin Crawford was towards the bottom third of the top 100 prospects in Major League
Sure.
Baseball. Here's the problem.
Mm.
We could sit here and say that this is a resurgence. Do you know how many people that the Mets, the Braves, and the Marlins had on the top 100 prospects list?
Probably a lot. A real lot.
Over 12. Over
Jesus
12.
Christ.
Over 12.
Wait,
And
hang on a second, Joe. I mean, just with all the four teams, or just like other like, or
no,
just
what just all three of those teams, like Marlins,
wow.
Braves, and Mets. They had
Oh my
I think a
God.
total of 12 total prospects in the top
Christ.
100 where we only had 3. So
Jesus,
it's like,
dude.
okay, so I mean, a lot of them came from the Marlins, which is
Christ.
fair. The Marlins on their way up. Now I gotta
Moving
ask.
on up. Yep.
Yeah, I gotta ask. You know, do you put any stock that teams like the Dodgers and the Mets
Mm,
that have just had this bottomless bankroll, that have
mm,
just bought all the players? You
yeah.
know, the Mets got stronger with their pitching.
Yep.
They got stronger with their bats. They got stronger with their bullpen. I gotta ask, in your mind, does it always, because it doesn't always translate this way. The
No, it
New York
doesn't.
Yankees did it for a while. The Boston Red Sox did it for a while. I
Hmm.
think at one point the Toronto Blue Jays did it for a while. You can buy your team. That doesn't always mean it translates to a championship. I
Mm.
get it. People are like, well, look what the Dodgers did. They obviously bought a championship. Yes,
Dream
I
team. That's
I
the dream team
I
scenario.
I understand that. So leading into this season, with all these teams like the Mets and the Dodgers, buying pretty much every asset that's out there.
Hmm.
I gotta ask, in your mind, do you think that's going to translate to necessarily a championship for either team this year? Do you think it's just like a run, like we should just hand the Dodgers another trophy on April 5th?
I gotta say right now. I mean, I think it's probably going down that road again. I have to say right now. I think it might look to me that the Dodgers are they're like the Golden State Warriors. They're like the Edmonton Oilers of the '80s. I could go down the list. Probably
Bulls in the 90s.
Bulls in the nine. Yeah, they know how to sell. They know how to sign good free agents. That's probably why at the end of 26 they might be in pursuit of a lockout. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing, man. I mean, it doesn't look good for baseball right now with the salary cap. I mean, the Dodgers can spend all this money. They can even get like, hey, look, if Bryce Harper wanted out, they could probably like get him in an instant. They probably want him. They could probably take the money and run and get Bryce Harper a better contract and give him an offer he cannot refuse.
Well, it's interesting because Bo Bichette, before he signed with the Mets,
Yep.
he actually took a meeting with the Dodgers.
Right.
And it's like, they would have stolen Bo Bichette too.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like,
Yeah.
God, where the hell you putting them?
Right.
Like, there's only 8 total fielders that you can have on 9 total batters. Like, where the hell you putting this guy?
I don't even know where you're going to put Kyle Tucker. I mean, they got Teoscar Hernandez still. I mean, that's the shit that drives me crazy. It's just that
Teoscar Hernandez.
Paez, yeah, forgot about Paez.
You got who's the other guy? Kiki
Oh,
Hernandez.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
you got guys that are on this team that are just like, where the hell are you putting this guy?
right,
But it doesn't matter. We have the strongest team possible. This is where I look. Maybe it's my red sunglasses that I'm putting on, but this is where I kind of go, no, it doesn't. Just because they buy their team doesn't always translate to a World Series.
right. I
Back
don't know
when
though. I mean,
the
might.
Yankees bought everybody,
It's
they
true.
only pulled out one World Series out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Good
just
point.
they
Valid point.
this is the thing. The Dodgers have already gone back to backs. Okay, I understand that. To go back to back to back would be really insurmountable, even if you have every player in MLB on your team. Okay, I understand that. But this is where I think that people are misled. This is a 162 game season. The Dodgers last season when they played the Phillies, if you recall, they had no bullpen.
Right.
They had no bullpen. They used only their starting pitchers against us.
Yep.
It was just they just kept rotate. They knew that their strength was their starting pitchers, so they just kept rotating out from the bullpen their starting pitchers, which was a smart move by the manager. Here's the thing. Injuries happen in the game.
Right.
I don't wish for anyone to get hurt, but injuries happen in the game, especially in a 162 game season.
Oh yeah.
You have 2-3 key injuries, and look, we saw this with the Braves 2 years ago.
Yep.
With Acuna and Olsen and a couple other Albies and Riley, who all got hurt in the same year. The pitcher, that Strider, that got hurt. Like, all these guys got hurt in the same year. They were supposed to be World Series bound. They were supposed to go back to back, and because of injuries, they weren't able to. Now, look, the Dodgers need a lot of injuries to debilitate them. I will give you that. But it's not a foregone conclusion. And look, the Mets, same thing can happen. Injuries can happen, but I also go back to this. The Mets always find a way to Met. They always find a way. You signed $700 million man Juan Soto, and you still couldn't get to the promised land. Yeah. Like, you could have $780 million, Mr. Soto, and you could be the king in New York. But guess what? You're only the king of Queens. That's it.
Well, I'll say this right now too. Adam Seaside checks in again. He basically says something about the Kyle Tucker thing. He says they probably have to trade or cut someone to add Tucker to the lineup. So I'm guessing they'll probably have to. Hang on a second. I think you might. I think your mic got cut off, buddy. Hang on a sec. Let me fix that. Oh shit. Sorry. Okay, so basically, no, what he was just saying was that Kyle Tucker, they had to add somebody to the lineup, or cut somebody to add to the lineup for Kyle Tucker's sake. Okay, so. Okay. Well, we'll be right back. Hang on a sec. Joey's trying to fix the technical problems he has. But to your point, though, Adam, I do agree. Though maybe they probably had to deal with somebody in the lineup, especially to deal with. Probably, I guess the other thing too is that I guess the thing that sticks out to me the most is that they probably would have to deal with Kyle Tucker. They probably have to cut somebody like Kyle Tucker. All right, Joey's back.
Yeah,
all good, brother.
Yeah, all good. So, I mean, look, I get it. The Dodgers are bountiful, but look, you still have to lace them up and play the game. So it's going to be interesting. The Phillies, despite all their druthers with the team that they are dressing, you got to remember this team. Yes, it's the same thing. They're running it back. They did get 96 wins last year. Like, okay,
but Joe, do you even see like 80 or 85 wins with this team this year? I don't. I just don't see it.
I
Not with this
could
group.
see 87 wins. I just
It could get
to push it to 90 is hard for me right now.
It's hard for me to do right now too. That's the thing. It's just that the way how they were constructed all year. I mean, I think Harrison Bader's going to kill him. I think it's going to kill him worse than
this. Well, yes, but this is where I like with the Phillies. This is the odd thing. So Otto Kemp last year came up. I didn't even know who the hell Otto Kemp was. And he came out like gangbusters. Do I think he's going to be as good of a player this year? I don't know. But, like, he came out of nowhere. And then, so, like, you have a guy like that. You have these young guys like Painter. We don't know what he's going to be. He better be as good as Ranger was, because us losing Ranger Suarez is a big hit. Right. So Painter's got to live up to being at least Ranger Suarez. Mm-hmm. Justin Crawford better be like his daddy.
I agree.
Better be a gazelle in that freaking outfield. That's all I can tell you.
Well, here's the other thing, too. I don't mean to interrupt you, and you make a valid point there about those three players in general. John Kincaid brought it up a couple weeks ago, actually a few months ago, about the whole circumstance of the starting rotation for 2026. Obviously, Wheeler will be out with the blood clot and still trying to nurse that, but I guess he'll be close to being back to normal, probably around maybe sometime before the All-Star break. But this is your lineup. This is your starting rotation for April, or when the season starts right now. You have Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo, then you got Aaron Nola, then Andrew Painter, and Taijuan Walker. And the funny fact is, I said to myself, are you okay with this scenario that with this rotation, like, are you okay with the rotation you have right now? And I'm thinking, like, I don't feel good. I mean, I feel good for 1 and 2 with Sanchez and Luzardo. Don't get me wrong, but Noah's a question mark. Painter's a question mark. Taijuan Walker's like inexcusable. I mean, what do you think? How do you feel about that circumstance being what the rotation that's going to be set for this coming season until Wheeler comes back?
Look, it's different and it's difficult, and we dealt with this 2 years ago when Taijuan was our 5.
Sure.
I think we got spoiled by us having all the starting pitching that we had last year.
Yeah.
And I think now we're back to the way we were 2 years ago. And does that make it harder? Sure. Yeah. Does Taijuan Walker have to step up? Yeah, he has to continue to step up. Andrew Painter, I need to see him. I'm going to be honest. Okay, so all the hype that I've been getting from Andrew Painter for the last 3 years, I need this guy to fit into that number 2 hole.
I agree.
In this rotation, I need it to be Sanchez, Painter, Luzardo, Nola, then Taijuan Walker.
Right.
That would make me feel better, especially if Painter is pitching like a number 2. Because then when Wheeler comes back, you slide Walker into the bullpen and you put Wheeler, Sanchez, Painter, Nola, Luzardo, and then Nola.
Right.
And that's your rotation. I feel better about that, especially if Painter is pitching like his guts out. Like, oh
shit. Hey, Joe. I think you might cut out again, buddy.
Not me?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know why it keeps on cutting back out.
So, let's move on to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Got it.
I had him originally. Who did you want to bring in for our OC? Well, we already know who our OC is now. We have Sean Mannion. We talked about it last night on Fly Like an Eagle. I gotta say, James, there has been some things that I've learned since last night's show about Sean Mannion and Grizzled. You're gonna have to help me with this.
Yeah, it's funny too because I kind of have a struggle on this name too. I think it's a Grizzard.
Grizzard.
There we go. Yeah. There we go.
It's like lizard with a gur. Anyhow, so
Grizzly Adams. I guess. I mean, let's hope he's like something like. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's funny because I remember when we got Sean Mannion yesterday. And I didn't hear this guy's name. I'm thinking, and then my buddy of mine talked about it. I was like, well, it's funny. He actually did pretty well last year with Baker Mayfield. I was like, holy shit, that's right. Forgot about
Yeah.
that.
So here's the thing. You bring in these two young guns. You know, you
Hmm.
bring in these two quarterback gurus. This is my feeling, and I said this to you prior to us going on. This is my feeling about why these two were brought in.
Hmm.
Howie Roseman said, "All right, we're going to fix Jalen for all the scrutiny he's gotten, all the things we're going to make him the best quarterback he could potentially be. And
Hmm.
if he flames out, he's gone.
Right.
But Nick, if you can't control your coaches, if you can't make this work, you're gone."
Hmm.
This is where conceivably by the end of next season, we could be talking about no Nick Sirianni, no Jalen Hurts.
Right.
That's what we could be talking about this time next year. And so I got to say, that doesn't mean that these two are going to fail. That means that they could make Jalen Hurts look like Joe Burrow or Jordan Love
Hmm.
or even Mikael Willis. Yeah, like
Malik Willis, all right.
Malik Willis.
Right.
Like they could make him look like, a phenomenon. And everyone that was on the Jalen Hurts, trade him, let Tanner McKee play, blah, blah, blah. All that goes away. All that noise goes away.
Right.
But if this team can't, if the play calling, if the continuity, and I brought this up last night, if Nick Sirianni can't get out of his own egotistical way, this team will fail.
Hmm.
And look, for all intents and purposes, all the critics that are out there, it's not that I'm trying to be like hey, I'm sticking up for Jalen and screw Nick Sirianni. No, look, Jalen's got a lot of improvements to do. And now that the organization say, here are these two quarterback whisperers.
It might. I think. Oh, okay. There we go. Keeps
You
on
got
cutting
me?
back. Yeah, it keeps on cutting it out. I don't know why it's doing it. Oh, we just lost you again, buddy. I think your mic. I can't hear you again, man. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, you do make a valid point though about the Hurts thing. So, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's just that Jalen might be, like you said, probably on the outside looking in, probably a possibility of becoming something. So, yeah, we might have to accept the fact that he might not be here after next year. So that's the other thing too. That could be the real factor of the matter and also the fact of the matter is that it's going to be a big season for these two quarterback whisperers, like you mentioned. So yeah, I mean, I'll be definitely keeping a close eye on that too, more than anything. Hopefully we'll get Joey back in a couple minutes or so. So I guess okay, here we go. So here we go. All right. So yeah, basically what you said was very valid on that point too. That you said that who knows if Jalen is not here next year. So that's the craziest part about it.
Yeah, so look, you got a quarterback whisperer, and Jalen could sit there, two quarterback whisperers that have fixed quarterbacks in this league.
Right.
Here's the thing. If Jalen goes, I'm Michael Jordan. I'm the Michael Jordan. If he gets his own ego and he gets to be too stubborn to listen to common sense, then then he's in trouble. Then he's gone.
Right.
And so for me, it's a matter of which guy's going to blink first, Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts. So I got to ask, what is your impression of this Sean Marion?
Mannion.
Sean Marion. God damn, Mitch. Sean Mannion.
Yeah.
Signing.
Yeah.
What's your impression of him? I mean, look, I heard something interesting from Nick Foles on his pod. That he was a third-round pick. Sean Mannion was a third-round pick of the St. Louis Rams, not the Los Angeles Rams.
Right.
Third-round pick, back up to Nick Foles when Nick Foles was with the Rams. And Nick mentioned that in Nick's own words, he was one of the best backup quarterbacks that he's ever had the pleasure of playing with.
Hmm.
Now, let me be mindful to tell everyone. I know Carson Wentz was the starter, but he wasn't the starter when Nick was red hot.
Right.
So technically, Nick Foles is saying that Sean Mannion was a better backup quarterback, a better teammate quarterback than Carson Wentz. Just for all those people that aren't taking notes, there'll be a quiz at the end of the class. But so
Yeah.
here's my thing: is Nick Foles said that this kid has an eidetic memory. For those people who don't know what that is, he can remember things almost like pictures in a scrapbook.
Right.
He can remember what things happened, how they transpired, and it's all like a photo album.
Right.
Here's the thing. There was mistakes that Nick Foles made, and in the quarterback room, Sean Mannion is pointing them out. And Nick was like, I don't even recall that. I don't even remember that.
Right.
They pulled up the video, the game footage, and Nick was just shocked on how spot on this guy was. So this guy, we talked about the lack of adjustments, in-game adjustments by Kevin Patullo. We talked about that. This is a guy who I feel like is going to thrive with in-game adjustments because he knows, okay, we got that wrong in week 5. He's going to be like, we got that wrong in week 2.
Right.
Let's not do that anymore.
Right.
Let's do this instead. And people are going to look at him like, what are you talking about? He's like, the play that we did like third quarter, 2:52 on the clock. It was a third down and 4. And people are just going to look at him like, and how the hell do you know that?
Right.
Because he's going to remember it. And like that is going to be a benefit to this team. So,
absolutely.
all that being said, what's your impression with this 33-year-old, 2 years older than you? What do you think of this kid coming in to be the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles? And does this mean that the Eagles are taking a step back next year?
Well, it's a good question because you think about obviously how Sean Mannion a couple of years ago was just a backup in this league. Obviously, he was a backup for he's a journeyman. Like obviously, like Nick Foles brought up here about like how he's a better backup to pursue and saying that he's a better backup than the backup I had in 2017 by the name of Carson Wentz here. But yeah, I mean, if Nick Foles says he's a very good minded coach, I mean, I trust Nick Foles on that. I really do trust Nick that isn't going to say just to say something. I think he's best to believe. I think it's a good hire for them. I think right now, if things, I mean, I like the Grizzard move. I thought the Grizzard move is a very good move for them too, for the most part. And yeah, I mean, right now, this probably tells you, okay, let the offensive coordinator and the quarterback's coach, or not the passing coordinator, do their job. And the one thing is too is that I like new ideas. I mean, I like new ideas. I like outsiders coming in here and trying to think that. I mean, I'd rather it's somebody from the outside looking in than somebody that's in the organization and just moving them to upper management at this point.
So I got to ask,
Sure.
Jordan Love had over 3,000 yards passing
Mm-hmm.
and 23 touchdowns in an injured year. He was injured for quite a bit of time this year. And Sean Mannion helped him get there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got to ask this question. For all those people about Jalen Hurts, well, Jalen's not a Joe Burrows. He's not a Josh Allen.
Right.
If Sean Mannion, because, Jalen has, knock on wood, has been good with his health, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Sean Mannion has a full season with a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts had 4,000 yards passing and 25 touchdowns,
right,
or even 30 touchdowns, does this now, in your mind, Does this flip the script in what your perception or your opinion of Jalen Hurts is moving forward?
It should. I mean, it should. I mean, that's the thing about it too, is that if Jalen Hurts goes back to 2022 quarterback MVP Jalen Hurts, and also goes back to the way he once was, like he was in 2022 and in 2024, I'm good with that. I think he'll be. I mean, the other thing too that I should point out here is that he is part of that Sean McVay tree. I mean, Sean McVay coaching a 37-year-old and Matthew Stafford went a long way this year. So I would not be surprised what Sean Mannion can do to Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, honestly, the last couple of days or so, I actually felt confident that next year, I mean, unless this it's either that it's going to be really good, or it's going to be that they blow it up, and it's either that it's a make or break type of year for both Sirianni and Jalen.
Yeah.
And the most important thing about it too is that if this doesn't go the way we expected, I think we're going to see like a rebuilding process from this. I mean, I think we're going to start seeing some players going, and also at the same time too, we're going to see, dare I say it, but maybe trust the process mode in 27, 28.
Yeah, this has all the benchmarks of, if this doesn't work, we reset.
Yeah,
And
I agree. I agree.
with Lane Johnson and question marks about that, with this defense coming up for contracts, it would be easy. It would be easy to draft a quarterback, right? And if Jalen Hurts screws up and he's gone this time next year, it would be easy to draft a quarterback, re-sign Jalen Carter, re-sign Jordan Davis, re-sign whoever you need to re-sign on the and extend on the defense, right?
Mhm.
Put the money back
Yep.
on the D.
Yep.
And then draft a quarterback. Like,
Right.
it'd be easy enough to do that, because you would have a quarterback on a rookie deal. You would start over with a new coach, a new quarterback, and a really stout defense.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. We've been there before.
Oh yeah.
With Donovan McNabb years and Jeff Garcia years and
Mhm.
stuff like that. We've been there before. This is where the next question I have is, we're talking about the fate of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts.
Mhm.
What do you think is the fate of A.J. Brown?
Ooh. Well, let's hope that AJ doesn't want to ask for a trade before that June 1st deadline. So that's the most important thing that's going to be coming out of it.
Well,
too.
he's been asking for a trade for the whole season, so
Yeah. Well, hopefully the other thing too is that I hate to say it right now, but if this comes down, I mean that worries me a little bit coming in to the new football season. Is that how stubborn AJ Brown's going to become? Like a couple months before that, because everything is looking very positive right now. But the one thing I worry about is I worry about this guy going to like probably piss on our cornflakes, if that's the right terminology for it. Just because I'm serious. I don't want any distractions to my quarterback coming into this season. I don't want any distractions with my offensive coordinator or my passing coordinator. Like, if you don't want to be here, then you don't. I mean, look, thanks for your time, but you got to go. But at the same time, too, is that I don't want to hear. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be T.O.-esque. Let's keep it real here. It's not going to be. He's not going to be doing selfies in the driveway and this, that, and the other. But if he is a distraction come off season, right around OTAs and stuff, then hopefully we can find a trade partner for him, because, I mean, honestly, I don't want it to happen. But if we can find a way to trade him away, like after that June 1st deadline, then I think we'll be in good shape. But hopefully the good thing is that he can probably reset and say, this is probably a time for him to try to say, okay, I'm dealing with this problem and let's try to find a way to fix it. Okay. But I'm still trying to give him a little bit of a chance to redeem himself. But if he's like still stubborn like he was last year, nice to know you, dude. Goodbye.
So There's a lot of different. I've gotten a lot of varied opinions about this. I've asked a lot of friends, and I've thought about this really long and hard. Now,
Hmm.
you've heard me go on record
Hmm.
as to say that AJ Brown, as much as people say he's a top 5 receiver, he
Right.
wasn't this year. He just
No,
wasn't.
no, he wasn't.
Statistically, performance wise, he just wasn't. Okay. Top 5 receivers don't drop the ball when the game's on the line. They just don't.
And always say he's always open.
Well, yeah, I get it, but he's always open. That may be true, but
But he can't.
he doesn't always catch.
Right.
Like that.
That's my
That's
point.
where you need to change the commercial. I always okay. Maybe I don't always catch, but here's
It's be like a little bit
this.
like Des Bryant. Like he might say he still catches it. You know.
This has been something that a couple people have kind of approached me about because
Mm.
they've asked for my opinion, and I've had different people give their opinion. The one opinion I got was, would you trade him to a team like Minnesota
Hmm.
and get like draft
Jordan Addison.
capital,
What?
Addison, like guys, because I think it would be sexy to Minnesota
Hmm.
to pair Justin Jefferson with AJ Brown
Ooh.
for JJ McCarthy or whoever they pick. So
Hmm.
I think it would be sexy for them in that way. The other thing was, do you just say, we just want the whole ball waxed like we tried to do with Carson Wentz? And you go to the Raiders and you say, we want the first overall pick.
Can you imagine Mark Davis doing this? Can you, can you
Crazier
imagine?
things have happened.
You never know. I mean,
like
it's not tolerable. It's not intolerable.
The Davis family has been notorious for like these really like, what the hell are you thinking kind of moves. So if I'm the Eagles, I'm if I'm not really like looking to trade AJ Brown, like if I'm just shopping around, I'm shopping at like Saks Fifth Avenue because I have the $10 million diamond ring, okay?
Oh my god.
With AJ Brown. I have the $10
Yeah.
million diamond ring.
Right.
I want to go and sell it somewhere. I'm going to Saks Fifth Avenue. I'm going to Tiffany's. I'm going to like the expensive places first. Because if they want to be stupid enough to give me $100 million for that $10 million ring, I'm taking it.
Right.
And like, that's why with Minnesota, because I believe Minnesota has 2 first-round picks this year. I could be wrong. But like either way, if you're able to get a first-round pick and Addison or 2 first-round picks and like,
Well, Adam brings up a good point here. He says, he'll first of all pick for AJ Brown and for Max Crosby. What do you?
Okay, I'm silent because I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I want to hate it, but I don't hate it.
Right.
You put Max Crosby next to Jalen Carter,
right?
Jordan Davis, and the rest of these monsters. We could be looking at the Mean Green all of a sudden again.
Ooh.
We could be looking at that kind of front again. Like Clyde Simmons.
Oh yeah.
Reggie White, guys like that. Jerome Brown. We could be looking at guys like that.
The 91 defensive line again.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
That's what that looks like. That's what, and you know what? If the Raiders call me and say Max Crosby for AJ Brown and a 3rd-round pick, I put them on hold. They go, take them off hold. Done.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you now, like, that's game changing. Now, people will be like, well, what about AJ Brown? Well, we need another receiver. Like, okay.
I'll be okay with Devontae. I think Devontae Smith will make it into a top-notch receiver.
Not only that, I think Dotson's come into his own. I think Darius Cooper's come into his own. I think that's That's a diamond in the rough. Okay,
Right.
Darius Cooper did well. I'm not saying he's like this all-star. He did well. He's
Right.
better than Todd Pinkston. Okay, that
It's
I
true.
can. That's not a high bar to rise above.
Sure.
He's better than Todd Pinkston. He's better than JJ Arcega-Whiteside. He's better than those guys. Okay,
Right. Right.
that I can be assured of. Is he better than Nelson Aguilar? Yeah. But he's there. He's in that field. But if you get a Max Crosby, who's a game record, and you put him next to another game record in Jalen Carter, and then he's next to another game record who's now on the scene. Jordan Davis is now on the scene. He is here.
Right.
And you put them, and then you got Nolan Smith. It's like, okay, where do I sign up for that? Because Zach Bond, the secondary that we have, re-signing Nakobe Dean, shoring up the safety spots, that defense from top to bottom would be impenetrable. And I don't know, like, good luck with that. Yeah,
Right.
that's all I have to say. But here's where I will go. So I agree. That's exactly what I'm saying with AJ.
Right.
If I'm going to shop, I'm going to go and try to trade a $10 million ring for $100 million. And if someone's dumb enough to give me $100 million, I'm taking it. Max Crosby is a $100 million player. Okay. That I can be assured.
Right.
It's like if we went to the Cleveland Browns and said, give us Myles Garrett for AJ Brown.
Right.
And they said
That's it.
yes. I'm like, okay, sure thing. How about we use the Sean Mannion connection? Go to Green Bay and say, hey, how about AJ Brown for? No, never mind. That one's going too far.
What's that? Oh, yeah, Michael Parsons.
Yeah, that's going too far. That's going one step too far. Went one step too far. But yeah, so look, I think AJ's a talent. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a top 10 receiver at his best.
Sure.
Do I want to just let that guy go? No, because I don't know. Now, after all this nonsense, I'm not sure, like I said yesterday, I'm not sure it's all AJ. I think there was a lot that falls on Nick Sirianni. I have to really start to, like, analyze Nick Sirianni's behavior because I'm starting to realize that he's making this all about himself versus what's best for the team. Because if he was doing what was best for the team, that 4 verticals would have never happened in the last play of the game. Because Kevin Batula offered that as the play call, and Nick Sirianni staying right next to him and approves it, then you need to have your head examined, Nick, because you dropped the ball as the boss. That's the bottom line, okay? When you start seeing your ship sinking, and you've been through this before. You hit an iceberg in 2023 and sunk your ship. And for whatever God knows reason, Howie Roseman gave you a pass. You come back, and again, you see, it wasn't as bad as 2023 where we went in that losing streak, but it was bad because we all knew as fans, we all saw the problems. If we could see it out here, why on God's green earth could you not see it in there? And you're the boss. You're the guy that can change it. But you chose not to because he's your best friend. Look, James, let's be real. Me and you, we're cousins in some, like, third-degree cousins.
Sure.
But we've been friends for an awful long time. We've been doing this for an awful long time.
Yeah.
But if you came in and just gave me the StreamYard link, hit go, record, and I'm talking to myself for an hour and a half,
right,
I'm firing your ass. I'm sorry. It's no disrespect to you. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to go, look, James, it's just not working out. If I'm sitting here talking to myself for an hour and a half, it's just not working out.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's fair. Now, I'm not calling myself the boss, but we're both co-bosses here.
Sure.
The difference is with Kevin Patullo, he's not the co-boss.
Right.
You don't get to give him like all this rope just for him to
It's a
hang.
valid point. I do agree with you on that circumstances that obviously if it's like Kevin Patullo in a situation that is like so bad. Well, I mean, here's the other thing too. It would be like you're trying to adjust to somebody on the fly that, like, say for example, we had technical glitches and I just do it. But it's the same kind of thing. It's the same level of feel.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing: if we week after week after week have these technical glitches and it's my fault, or if it's just your fault, like at some point one of us is going to talk to the other and go, "Hey, dude, what's going on with your equipment? Like, hey, what's going on?" Like, we're going to approach the other. We're not just going to ignore it. We're not just going to let the quality of what we put out to all of you people out there. We're not going to let that quality diminish. Like, me and James are always constantly trying to raise the bar. And that is what you should always be doing as a team. Nick Sirianni, I don't understand the logic that people have that he's raised the bar. Okay, since he's been here, what have we been better at? Like running the ball, we were good at running the ball 1 year. And then when we were good at running the ball, it was because Jeff Statland was in charge of the run game. But then you take that responsibility away from him. How does that improve your team? How does that do anything but take away a strong enough asset for your team? You are the boss. Act like it.
Right.
Make definitive decisions. But here's the other thing. Nick Sirianni can get exposed this year because he doesn't make the play calls, and the expert and the guru that he came in as, he's no longer that guy. The guy got too big for his britches, and now he thinks he knows it all. Okay, well, I hate to inform you, but you don't.
Right.
Like the guy that's playing for the Super Bowl this year. You got two head coaches in the Super Bowl this year that are both rookie head coaches. I mean, not the one, but rookie in the sense of he went back to his old team. You know, he's rookie his first year in New England.
Right.
You know, this is mind-boggling. Like, listen, Nick has to understand that in order for him to keep his job, he needs to go back to Mount Union, and he needs to realize that those might have been his glory days, but you got to put the past in the past and move forward to the future. And in order for you to move forward to the future, you need to understand what you are either good at or what you need to improve.
Right.
And right now, he's got so much more to improve on than what he's good at. And so that's why I have more hope for a guy like Sean Mannion and Grizzard. Like, that's why I have that, optimism.
I feel better now than I did, honestly, too, Joe.
Well, here's the thing. Will you... Okay, so let's make a bold prediction.
Okay.
This time next year, there's three choices. Number one, the Eagles will be back in the Super Bowl. Number two, the Eagles will be out of the playoffs, and either Nick Sirianni will be fired, or Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni will be fired. Which choice do you think? If you had to put look into your crystal ball, what do you think is more likely to happen?
I would wish
next year.
I honestly, I would wish that it would be we'll be back in the Super Bowl again. This time, I mean, that's kind of like where I'm at right now too, because I think the two things that happened this week with Grizzard and also with Mannion, I think it helps the Eagles get back to where they are as a team, as a Super Bowl contender. I mean, it could probably help them a lot in immensely of ways. Most importantly, too, is that the other thing that really sticks out to me the most is that um, if the Eagles, if this does, let's say for example, the Eagles, if this doesn't go the way we expect it to go, then I agree. I think that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are both going to be fired. I do agree on that part too. But my hindsight being right now, I would all hope that we're back in the Super Bowl at this time next year, talking about Super Bowl 61.
And you know what? I'm with you. And this is the reality within that. Now, I'm not saying our optimism and our prediction is short sighted. I'm not. Well, what I'm saying is we both have to come to a realization, and the Eagles fans too. We
Right.
both have to come to the realization that if we were to go back this time next year, if we would be going into our another Super Bowl and potentially win that Super Bowl, there's no chance they're firing Nick Sirianni.
Hmm.
There just isn't. Who fires a two-time Super Bowl champion?
Hmm.
Even if he wasn't directly responsible. And this is where me and AK talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's the idea that this guy's invincible or untouchable, not because of his talents and skills, but because of the hires that he had behind him, like a
Right.
Kellen Moore and a Shane Steichen. Those guys saved his hide, not Nick Sirianni himself. So if Sean Mannion and Gizzard come in and do make this a success and make Jalen Hurts a 4,000-yard passer with 20 or 30, 25 to 30 touchdowns in a season and take us all the way back to the promised land of the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? We win that Super Bowl, it's going to be not because of Nick Sirianni, although people will say he'll go down as the greatest Eagles coach of all time.
Right.
It'll be more for Sean Mannion and Grizzard. And I think that's one thing me and AK could both agree on if that is something that happens a year from now. Look, I'm not saying that Nick Sirianni has got nothing to do with things, but dude, sometimes you can mask who you are by putting the right people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so Joel Embiid has been a good player,
Mm-hmm.
but he has had people around him that have also been good players.
Right.
So is Joel Embiid a great player because of Joel Embiid, or is Joel Embiid a great player because of the players around him? I
Hmm.
think it's a little bit of both. It's not as extreme as Nick Sirianni, but I think it's a little bit of both. Nick Sirianni's benefited from a lot of smart dudes. He may be benefiting from another pair of smart dudes. I just, you know, I know that if we win the Super Bowl, me and you will be on this airways and having the conversation. Was this a Nick Sirianni win or a Sean Mannion win?
Right.
And then it's going to lead that conversation to, well, we're stuck with Nick Sirianni for another 5 years
Right.
because the Eagles will extend his contract and he will go down in this infamous title of one of the greatest Eagles coaches of all time. And so,
Right.
do you take it? I'll take another parade. I'll take it gladly. I will. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means as far as the talent level for Nick Sirianni. I
Hmm.
think he's a puppet of a coach.
Hmm.
I think he is only good when he has the people behind him that are better. So
We'll wait and see.
that being said, speaking of a better show, we are going the next time we air February 14th, Valentine's Day. Please join us, James and Mitch. I will be on vacation. Please join James and Mitch while they talk about Philly landscape. Philly sports landscape, and they also play for you our amazing and very exciting interview with Jim Jackson coming up later this week. That will air February 14th, the next episode of Pattison Ave Sports Show. So hit follow, like, subscribe on Stream Punk Entertainment PA and Hardcore Sports Network on the YouTube channel, and follow us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. But for everyone that's joined us today, thank you very much for chiming in.
We really do appreciate it.
We covered a lot of ground with 4 major sports and the State of the Union. But for James Scorza, for Joe Marks, we're the Pattison Ave Sports Show. And let's go Flyers, and let's go Sixers.
I guess let's go Phillies too. I mean, pitchers and catchers were important not long after that, after the interview with Jim Jackson too. So
yes, absolutely.
But yeah, definitely. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Stay warm.
Stay warm, everybody.